I get my seat back? Huh? Kan ek my sitplek kry? Dankie. Thank you. And thank you. Indeed. And greetings upon you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful day. Nice and cloudy. It's probably gonna rain some. There's definitely some stormy vibes rolling around. But I'm gonna choose not only to paint a beautiful picture in my own self, but to paint a beautiful picture for you, friends. Today, let me backtrack a little bit. Yesterday, I was spending some time with my sister and my mom, and something happened. And that something that happened taught me, taught me again, just a very important lesson in a physical way. In a way where you can't really ignore it. You're kind of so confronted with this truth that it's not up for debate. Literally, it's not up for debate anymore. It's like, oh yeah, sure. Oh, of course. That's kind of how it is. Truly yours, Eden, Isaac, Brother Ben, Ryan. Thank you for joining me already, friends. I appreciate you being here. Oh wow, look at that beautiful wind. Good morning. Yeah, dude, it's nice. It's nice. It's actually pretty cool. It's been getting like kind of cold actually over the last few days. I had to get myself another blanket for the nighttime, so then more friends. How are you all? I'm doing so well, brother Bear. I'm doing well, but I'm very in my own head today. Like yesterday, let me actually share that with you friends first. Yesterday, I decided it was time again to take some mushrooms. So I weighed out 2.22 grams of mushrooms. I juiced some lemons, some grapefruits, and then I blended that together and drank it. And I spent the first 44 minutes directly after drinking it, like sitting kind of in nature. It was completely dark. It was getting really into just this feeling of manifestation, chanting, and I was just doing that. I was sitting in meditation, focusing on my breath, focusing on my senses coming in, focusing on my awareness that I'm the one that elicits a response from the stimulus, coming into my being. And then from that point, I started breathing deeper and deeper. And then when I get to a certain point of deep breaths, I just automatically start to chant. Just start making sounds. And I did that for about 11 minutes or so. And it was just this genuine feeling of I'm doing work almost. It was like, yeah, so I've done the work, if you will. Kind of finished my 44 minutes up, came inside, and like I told my parents again, showed them, if you will, kind of brought the mushrooms into the kitchen, weighed some of it out, very, very visceral, very open about it. Then I went and watched The Adam Project. It's a movie about time travel. And after that, I think an episode or two of a new show, what's it called? Human Resources. You friends probably know about it. It's a little bit vulgar. But the stuff that they're touching on, the ideas, the feelings, the mindsets, the archetypes are very beautiful. And it was this genuine experience of feeling like things are changing, things are happening, there is this awakening of consciousness happening. And like they kind of go a lot into they went a lot into the whole having a mom, how important your mom is in the Adam Project, and then it kind of went into the exact same with human resources, and it was like this transition. Like it's almost like those two things are melting into my head at the same time. Like the Adam Project and human resources are now eternally attached to one another in my mind. And my mom was busy, making some coffee cookies, and I asked her, can I help you with anything? And she was like, oh, I still have to kind of like make the icing, and then I have to smear. I have to put the icing on the cookies, I guess the best way to say. And then I'll let you know if I need your help. And I basically, feel like that's not good enough, so I go to her and I try to help her in the kitchen as well. But there's not much that I can do in that moment. But I'm trying to basically have a conversation. I'm talking to my mom about the stuff that this we're doing, the process of evolving that we're now a part of, how much the world is going to change as a result of all of this. And I feel awkward. I feel very awkward having a conversation with my mom because she's just quiet. And then I was like, maybe she's quiet because she wants to hear me. And then the paranoid side of myself is like, maybe she's quiet because I'm being weird or whatever, like something like that. And eventually she finishes up, with the actual baking of the cookies. She brings them inside. She calls me to start adding the icing. And now this is I'm tripping on 2 grams of mushrooms. But unfortunately, I'm saying unfortunately, I don't think I can take them at all anymore because I had the same amount of information that I had on my 7.77 gram trip with the 2.22, and I was like, no, no, please, please, I didn't sign up for this. I only ate 2 grams, and it's like, nope. Here you go. Here's the information again, and I was just sitting there, kind of like putting icing on cookies in this moment, and it was this moment, like such a visceral moment of me being there, completely solid, doing the same thing over and over again. And then I was like, this is driving me insane. This is driving me insane. I'm losing my mind as I'm doing this repetitive thing over and over again. And then I was like, wait a second, isn't this yoga? Isn't this also technically yoga? I'm moving in a rhythmic motion. That's what I'm doing over and over again. All I have to do is focus on my breath. And I shared with my mom, and I share, this insight of making these cookies is basically a type of yoga as well. And I eventually, get to this point where it's too much for me to handle. Like there is too much going on inside my head in a moment for me to stay in that moment, if you will. And my mom not saying a single word. She didn't say a word. She was just listening. So I'm like trying to generate information while I'm doing these cookies, while I'm thinking 10 million things at the same time, while I'm trying to listen to my sister tell me about this little list that she made, this to-do list that she made that she wants to get done. And I'm just like, oh, I'm losing my mind completely. And then suddenly my sister screams. She's just like, oh, ew, like something like that, like a visceral kind of like, oh, this is so disgusting. And, like there's this moment of what the hell is happening with her kind of going into her trip of, oh, what are you doing? No, 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 no. And, it's a dead rat that one of the dogs brought into the house. But the way that she emoted, the way that she reacted to this dead rat, in my mind, instantly, there was this fractal of just puke everywhere. Like on the, what do you call it? We call it a tafeldoek in Afrikaans. It's like the piece of material you put over the table. Tablecloth? There we go. Thank you, Brain. The tablecloth. I was like imagining just this fractal of nonsense, on the tablecloth and on the floor, on the chairs, and then just the mouse. And I like share this, realization, this feeling, this interpretation, if you will, with my mom. And she's like, yeah, I thought, something similar. And in that moment, I was like, chunk, I realized that is what we're doing. Not necessarily that exactly, but that every single person is a canvas, has this infinite potentiality to imagine, to experience things. And you are the painter, by allowing your canvas in the presence of someone who you would like to paint on your canvas. It is an exchange that happens, again, both sides of the infinity. And in this moment, I get to be a painter on your canvas, and you coming into the space allowing me to do that is an absolute honor. And we do the same, allowing ourselves, an open space where someone else can kind of paint on our canvas, just realizing, just almost accepting the responsibility that you are that painter. You are that creator, and you have the means to create a beautiful, inspiring, wonderful image in someone's head, or you can do the opposite. In this moment, let's imagine a future where there is abundance, where there's enough love for every single person, where there's enough needs, or rather, where needs are completely met for every single human being. Just imagine what that would be like. Just imagine human happiness in a world like that. Imagine, renewable energy is sustainable. Like everywhere on the planet, there is renewable energy. There's batteries to make sure that our stuff doesn't run out. We're using the sun, we're using the wind, we're using geothermal. We're utilizing our planet's resources without harming it. Imagine that. Just imagine how beautiful that would be. Imagine rainforests coming back. Imagine birds of paradise coming back to their homes. Imagine little frogs, beautifully colored frogs. Maybe they're poisonous as well, jumping about, eating bugs. Painting a picture. We have this ability to paint a picture. So, that is our intentions for today. Painter and canvas. Painter and canvas. Thank you, friends, for allowing me to be a painter. I appreciate you so much. Hello, friends. Kayana says hi from the future. She can't watch live. Hey, Kayana. Like, even if you just watch this little piece, this first 17 minutes, or no, maybe first 12 minutes or so of the stream, that is the essence of the feeling I wanted to communicate, because I saw it so clearly, and I shared it with my mom as well. I was like, you realize? You see what I mean with we are the creators of our own realities? Even though my sister had this, overly exaggerated reaction to a dead mouse, the reaction that I had to it was one that was viscerally worse, like exponentially worse than the actual reality. And in that moment, I created that exponentially worse reality inside of myself. So we can do the opposite, right? If I can go to the extreme of the bad, I can go to the extreme of the good as well. We will save this world. We will transition to renewables. We will take care of the needs of every single human being. As painter, and canvas. Painter and canvas. Painter and canvas. You as both. Painter and canvas. And the way you paint your canvas determines the type of painter that you become, right? I think so, at least. If we allow ourselves to be painted by hate and by, suffering, by greed, by shame, by separation mentality, then that is the artist, the painter we're going to become. Those are the same lines we're going to try and put down on other people's canvases. So why not put down the infinity? It's like, yes, we could put down one line, but how about we do all of the lines? How about that? Shannon, thank you for joining me, Fred. John, Dad is here as well. Brother Bay, it's so nice to have you. Oh, winter is coming for you. How exciting. I'll gladly give it to you. Thank you for giving me the winter, Isaac. I appreciate it. Fortunately, I have blankets, not too far away. But we're going to have blankets on stream soon again. I'm guessing within the next 2 weeks, we'll have blankets on stream again. Hey, Heather, we missed you yesterday, friend. It's nice to have you. Aiden, Brother Bear, is joining us as well. Crispy Nips is joining us, saying dope shit. Used to love seeing your videos, man. Have a great day. What a nice thing that is to say. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Love is true. Love is true. And if you can live by that rule, it's literally the only rule I think, and I've been thinking about this a lot. Like I spend every single day of my life thinking about this, how to be a good person, how to live life in a just way. And the only rule, the only understanding that I've gained from that is just to live into the truth that love is true. If you feel that separation of inside of yourself, if you see it in the world, just ask yourself, is love true about that situation? And then when you ask yourself, is love true? Then you can try and find that truth. You can find a reason for it to be true. Like, oh yeah, sure, this horrible thing is happening. Like, for instance, my dad loves bringing up Hitler in our conversations, where he, I don't know if he directly tries to compare me to Hitler, but he's like, if everybody believes what you believe, you know, when I'm banana, like Hitler believed that he was right, something like that, you know. And then I'm like, but Dad, don't you realize that Hitler played a role as well? Hitler played a role as well, even though the stuff that he did is absolutely appalling, and every single human being, you know, that has a decent head on their shoulders is completely against what he did. Do you realize that now you have that information in you on a genetic level, even that is not something that's acceptable, that is something that is evil to the core. And now, because there is someone that has done something like that, we have this reference of humanity within inside of us, and we can be like, yes, this is what we don't want. But we had to see it to know what we don't want. So, like, he played a role. I'm not saying he played a positive role. I'm not saying he played a hero role, but he played a role nonetheless. And every single one of us plays these roles. You know, like it's inevitable. You're going to play that role, your role. Just try and make that role a good one, because you're the storyteller, you're the painter, you're the one choosing what you want to put down on the canvas. It's all you, friend. Spring and summer is on the way here, silly as it sounds. Although I'm happy to see the weather, it gives me slight anxiety because everyone becomes more social and active. And it is the pressure, and it pressure, or the pressure frightens the introvert in me. Heather, for what it's worth, friend, apparently I'm an introvert as well, you know, and I go through these periods of extreme solitude. Is that the right word? No, contraction, maybe contraction. I go through these periods of extreme contraction and then extreme giving. And because I've noticed that inside of myself, instead of having it, because I would do it for like months at a time, be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be super social now, and then I do that for months, and then I'm like, I'm dying, and then I stop doing it for months, and then I realized that pattern inside of me, and then I just made it a part of my daily practice. It's like, yes, now we're going to give ourselves every day, have moments of rest, and you know, getting away from it every day. And just do that, Heather. Like, realize that you have that pattern. Wind, Mrs. Wind, please, please. How am I going to roll a joint? Ah, Mrs. Wind. And it's like, bitch, I don't care about your joints. I need to move these clouds so these places can get rain. I know. I know. I'm sorry. Sorry for being selfish. Ugh. Let's see. Oh goodness, now I'm getting goosebumps as well. The wind is cutting a little bit at me. You can't see my goosebumps. Thank you for the wholesome, bright engineer. Hi to you, Ambermint. Ach nee man. Ach ja man. Ach ja, friend. Don't say no. God says yes. Man, how am I gonna do this? Am I gonna win? We will not be defeated by little wind. I say that, instantly expecting backlash. It's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, you want to challenge the infinity? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't want to challenge the infinity. More cow content, please. I don't do cow content, friend. That is Uncle Becky's department. Like, you can subscribe to Haywire Hill and you'll be able to find some of that though. So you are in the right place nonetheless. Are we winning? Ah! Lost a little bit. Just a little bit. It's getting cold, huh, Peppy? It's getting a little bit cold now. Skadoosh! We have manifested a one-use chillum. Thank you for your kindness, Isaac. Thank you for yours. Dis Vrydag kom ons duik. Duik want toe, friend. Ek There's no water close. Well, there's water there, but you can't really dive into that water. My social anxiety. Great to you, friend. Yeah, Terence McKenna talks about the mushrooms wrecking his world when he would get too cocky. I'm thinking of a specific story. Maybe I'll tell it on Discord. If you feel, if you want to, please. Like I don't feel like I'm getting wrecked, like at all. Quite the contrary. I feel like I'm unrelatable. That is the real thing. Like I'm completely unrelatable. Like unrelatable to the point where, again, my mom doesn't even want to say anything. That's at least what I was thinking. Like oh goodness, I'm not a human being right now type of vibe. I'm like, oh goodness. But I know it's cold, you silly thing. I know it's a little bit cold, isn't it? Oh, the wind's cutting our bones. Oh goodness. Thank goodness it brings feeling. Where are you from? I'm from South Africa, Dark Archer Zete. I need that wind in my hair. It is in your hair right now, friend. Missed you last night. Thank you for sharing that love, Ninja Peach. Kate is here as well. I'm doing well, friend. A little bit cool, but I'm doing well. I have a YouTube playlist where I collect his lectures. I can send a link later. Some of them are like 8 hours, but I've listened to most of them. Same. They're so great. Like the biggest thing of Terrence, at least to me, is the fact that he speaks in a very one-tone kind of accent. Yeah, can I? I don't know if I can kind of speak like Terrence. No, I cannot actually. But Terrence McKenna has this, you know what I mean. This one-tone way of speaking. And like sometimes it's almost like all of his words melt into the same, thing. And then you just sit there, experience your own mind listening to his words. Letting him paint the picture, if you will. Letting him paint the picture. The audio must be so brutal on the YouTube. I'm sorry, Fred. Thank you for joining me here, though. Positive reappraisal is so important. It is, friend. It is. And what we don't realize is we can allow ourselves that. We can do it for ourselves. We can paint those pictures for ourselves. My friend, I got spacey and distracted by other things yesterday. I'll do my best to make it to the next one. Friend, you are perfectly in infinity. We will be where we must be when we're there. If you are the canvas and provide the painting for ourselves and others, it goes to show what life provides as the paint can cause these paintings to have different outcomes and creation. Beautifully put. Different frames, different canvas material, different textures of canvas, different everything. There's an infinite amount of variability, but I feel it stays this order and chaos. Within nothing, chaos, and then within nothing, chaos, and then as a result of nothing, order. Or rather, the chaos allows the potential for order. Yeah, see, this wind, yo. I'm getting a little bit wrecked. It can be harder to see the beauty in a painting when given difficult tools, but it's still possible. It's easy to paint a beautiful, happy picture when given abundance. It's almost inevitable. It's important to remember our mediums. Very beautiful point as well. Thank you for bringing that side of the infinity. I appreciate that, Isaac, because you're right. You're completely right. Not only, and I think it almost comes back to that tree analogy of seeing people as trees as well. Realizing the imperfections, the different painting mediums, different tools used, different paints used, different, textures in the paint even. Oh, why not? There's so much variability from person to person that for us to be judgeful, and I feel that's the thing with looking at works of art as well. Like each and every single one of us have our own tastes. And we like painting certain paintings for certain reasons. We like certain people for certain reasons, like certain painters for certain reasons. And that's good. It's the variability. It's the there's another word I'm looking for. Variability or diversity. That's the one. The diversity of life. because it's so diverse, there's always something new, something beautiful to look at. Yesterday, as I'm in the middle of my trip, basically peaking, my mom calls me and she shows me this grasshopper. And it's an insect, but it has these textures, in color. It's literally a black and gray ish type, black slash dark brown slash light brown slash gray ish, like grasshopper. But just using those basic colors, it has these textures and these, little spots and these little like intricacies. And I like my mom shows this to me, and I'm just like, oh goodness, it feels like I'm looking at a gem, like an actual gem of the universe. Like if I had to find like a crystal that is worth an infinite amount, it looks like what I'm looking at. And this thing has legs, and it eats food, and it lives its own life. It has gone through so many transformations just to be the beautiful self it is in that moment. And I just say thank you to my mom. I just say thank you. And I thanked her not only from this place of thank you for showing me, or thank you for calling me to show me, but I thanked her as if she's the one that did it. Obviously I was stripping out, but that's the way I thanked her for it. Like she was the one who made that insect. She was the one who brought that insect into being, the order within the chaos. And I don't know if she realized that that was how I was saying thank you, but I realized how I was saying thank you. And it felt so true. It felt so true to paint that picture in myself, and in a limited way trying to paint the picture for her as well, without saying too much. And again, that's why I feel I'm so unrelatable, because you see things differently, right? And I felt so alien between my parents and my sister, because I could see stuff that they weren't seeing. Like for example, I was sitting and spreading on these cookies, right? And the cookies icing has pork fat in it. Like I don't know why, but that's what the recipe calls for. And in my mind, while I was doing this, I was imagining this transition happening in humanity, where pork fat, animal fats rather, is being sneaked into the diet with all of these sugars. And that, I believe, is something that we need to be doing. We need to be transitioning over to higher fat diets with whole foods, vegetables, and maybe a little bit more fat instead of like refined sugars and mazes and stuff like that. And I could see this. I could literally see it in my immediate household, humanity transforming. And I was like, oh, spreading icing on cookies, losing my mind, like actually losing my mind, and realizing that I was the one painting that picture over and over again as well. It's so crazy. Being a human being is so crazy. Realizing that you are this node of transformation, you are this node of change, you are this node of the new world. You, you are creating the new world in every single moment. Mm. To painters and to canvases. To the canvas that is me, and the painter I try to be. Yeah, I think I was given off-brand supplies, but I'm working with it. Wasn't Hitler a Christian? Hitler was a vegan. I don't know about Christian. Maybe. That would be kind of funny. We are creator and creation. There we go, Aiden. Yes, we are. Ah, I feel you, girl. I've been given a pile of shit and a tile wall to paint with in the past, and you can make a work of art that way. You actually can. You actually can. Good thing we're just painting a tiny gallery. I'm excited to be on this side of the infinity. I'll be excited to see what we create when we're back on that side. I'm hoping for dragons! Isaac, don't even start, dude. How do you keep doing this? Like me and Christian have talked about that. You know, that the next time around we're going to go to the place that has dragons. And then and I remember me and him talking about this. Like even in that dragon world, where we have dragons, like our dragons are gonna be like absolute bitches sometimes. You know, oh, we have to go fly again. How about no? We flew like 13,000 kilometers. You know, the other week. Oh, I'm not flying for like 2 weeks at least. You know, and then complaining about that and complaining about not having like cell phones and technology so we can communicate across the world. We have to fly by dragon back. And me and Christian was just having this chat of like, even if there are dragons, we'll still have things to complain about because we're the ones complaining. We're the ones creating all of reality. And then we're like, yeah, actually, this part of infinite reality is not infinite enough. I was thinking, the tables turn both ways. Yes, it does. Infinity fractal dragons. I mean, the dragons that we were talking about had like different, like had like scales, of course, and then these scales would be kind of like colored, but almost like colored from the inside, pulsating outwards, and then the edge of the scale would be the brightest part of it, and then those different scales and different colors would be overlaying these mosaics, you know, creating bigger shapes, bigger patterns. Like, yo, yo, we've been we've been where the dragons are as well, friends. Everything within infinity. And I've never considered that ability, but I do that as well. Social for a bit, then withdraw and self-evaluate. Is this not typical human behavior? It is. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Heather. Instead of being like, oh, there's something wrong with me because such and such, we're just like, oh, something I do sometimes. Notice it. Don't be angry at it. Ugh. Says Daku, love you, friend. Bruh. Newen, love you too, friend. Are you German? No, I'm South African. The latest boss. The last boss before Enlightenment. Like Space Godzilla. I could go for a spliff right now. Live vicariously through me, friend. Who was this clown? Name is Meltmore. Meltmore the clown. You know, it's funny that you say that because I do identify with the jester energy as well, so I'm clown is pretty close. Some clown that's about to ruin the air quality with a stinky joint. Bum. I mean, I'm not opposed to being a bum, and I don't really understand why that would be an insult either. If anything, homeless people is a shame on the society that they're a part of, not so much on them as individuals. You know, think about an alien species, a super advanced alien species. They would literally drop down on the ground laughing their asses off if they had to see how we treat human beings, how we treat our fellow human beings. So, if anything, you know, when you say the word bum, I just think of the shame that brings on society, not so much the shame it brings on the individual. So I feel that. Thank you, friend. Thank you. Just tuned in. Is that a meth pipe? Hmm. I don't think so. No. What strain is this? This is Funky Monkey. I'm struggling. This is Funky Monkey, friend. Smoked with the intention of becoming aware that we are the painters and the canvas. And that by having a conversation, you can paint a picture in someone's mind. Right? We know this. Realizing that we have that power, what pictures do we want to paint? Recognizing someone else as a divine being, what respect would you have for their canvas? You know, if you saw a beautiful white canvas, and there's no such thing technically, right? Not within humanity at least, because every single moment we've experienced made a little mark on our canvas. So imagine there has been, you know, someone has experienced this life in a beautiful community, you know, where love is true and people care for one another. And then they venture out into the world and someone, you know, robs them at gunpoint within minutes of them coming from this world. I see that as this, you know, that gunpoint robbery as this beautiful painting that has all of these beautiful moments and beautiful colors and beautiful textures painted on this beautiful canvas. And then this moment of getting robbed at gunpoint, fearing for your life because another person is experiencing lack. Suddenly, on this beautiful canvas, someone like throws this blotch of black paint. And the thing is, in that moment, it will be painting ruining, if you will, right? It can be so devastating that you can feel like your painting is unworthy of continuing. Or like this painting, it's ruined, scrap it, throw it away. But realizing that we can continue painting, layers upon layers, trying to paint in ourselves beautiful layers, trying to paint in others beautiful layers instead of trying to make more black blotches, if you will. Right? Just recognizing, taking responsibility for that power we have. Watching Mel speak critically to Mother Nature always makes me laugh. She's listening. Heather, that's why I speak to Mother Nature, because she listens. And me and her have a very playful relationship where she messes with me and I stay thankful. That's the only way. Rise, you tarnished, and claim peace and love to you. Oh, what's up, cutie? Hashtag gay pride. Gay pride, friend. Thank you, Jazz. Love to you. He needs like a million years to make one joint. Yeah, about, like, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately very from a very place of awareness. I feel I'm very bad with time. Like time doesn't actually exist, right? There's only this moment, and this moment continuing, kind of like you are cutting slices out of reality, and then that makes time. You are making time right now. There's no taking time, it's just you making time. So I like to take my time rolling joints because every moment I take is this slice of time, a slice of intention, a slice of thought, a slice of words, a slice of feeling, and I'm putting that energy into this joint as I'm rolling it, so that when I eventually smoke it, that energy comes along with it. Spark it up, G. Sending love from Australia. Sending love to you. Just smoke it. Like It's funny to me that there are some people that get viscerally like angry or triggered at the fact that I take so long. And I've had a lot of friends, like straight up tell me that no, you can't roll because you're gonna take like 15 minutes to roll a joint. I'm like, yeah. And it's like, no, we need to smoke right now. And I'm like, how about we breathe and take 15 minutes and then smoke afterwards? Got some GameStop stonks? Unfortunately, I don't, friend. Like, it's very difficult for us South Africans to buy stonks. My dream is to start my own dildo online shop. Do it, friend. Live your dream. Live your dream. Dude, weed, bro. Dude, weed, bro, indeed. Dude, I'm telling. I'm telling you, bro. What's your doggo's name, please? Her name is Peppy. She's probably inside. It's raining mildly. Remember to be respectful. Thank you, Auntie, for the love. I love how lead joint monkeys are rattling their cage bars, right? It's so beautiful for me to see because I see that instant gratification. And you're calling it not a joint monkey because it's still the instant gratification monkey, just the one that wants the joint. Shaking their cages. It's like, hey, relax. Relax, your food is coming. It's coming. You just wait 5 seconds, and then I'll put the food in front of you, and then you can try and shove it down as fast as possible. Still, and that's one of the biggest things. Like I love dogs, and I love watching them do their thing. The experience of the world that they have. The one thing that I don't love is their speed of swallowing. Right? And I know that sounds so weird, but the time to food in mouth to food swallowed, it bothers me because I'm like, do you know how much you could be enjoying that piece of meat I just gave you? You could be chewing on that for like hours, and you would have hours of flavor, meat flavor from that. And I'm just thinking that to myself, and now you've swallowed that in seconds, and now the experience is done. How about that that one thing? And it's the instant gratification that I see in the outside world that I notice is inside of me as well, that I don't want to be. Right? That is why we get these moments of resistance to things where we're like, nah, this is wrong. He's adorable. Thank you for telling our friend as well. Dude, I've been playing so much Elden Ring recently. I'm happy that you are as well, Aiden. Like, I can actually see it, you know. Again, the hero's journey. I was thinking that the joint comes out, and then they hunger. Bro, don't tell my mom, please. She doesn't understand. Fucking weed, bro. Whoa. My mom knows, dude. She understands completely. Like, I feel I got blessed with the best mom in the entire universe because she does understand. She actually understands, like no one I've met before. Like at the boyfriend. Don't think of the medium for the art. Just let it be in its abstract beauty. Beautiful point as well, Natalie. Thank you for joining us. Where do you live and what do you do? This is what I do, friend. I share love. You know, this is my role. I came here to share love. I came here to share the fire of love to the point where we all melt more. That's it, dude. But you know, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Same, way too many hours, but it's so satisfying. Friend, you are training the muscle of willpower. You know, remind yourself of that and you'll be fine. Hey, Melty and more! Thank you for joining us, beloved Gooby Goo! How have you been, dude? It's been a while. It's been a while, man. How's the doggos? I can tell you right now he's in South Africa. You are right. I will be a few minutes before he gets to your comment, but he's in South Africa, and this is what he does. Thank you for sharing that love, Auntie. Did your parents make money off apartheid? I mean, not really. Not really. My dad, like, grew up in a relatively poor family, with family of 8 kids. You know, it's so funny to me that that is the contrast of like, you know, we're living basically paycheck to paycheck, but also we have 8 kids. Anyway, so they had like a mild little plot where they had a few cows and they would milk their own cows. Like it's what is a way to actually like like 100 yards? Is it a yard? No, wait, a yard. Is it a yard? I don't know exactly. 100 by 100 yards, right? I think that is the measure in yards. Like I'm butchering it right now. Anyway, so my dad was living on this small little farm for most of his childhood, and he got a bursary to study engineering, which was a massive help to my family because they couldn't afford to send my dad to university. And then after that, he started working in the mining industry. Like, when you start in the mining industry at the bottom level, like you're basically, you know, crawling through tunnels at the start. And then he worked his way up with his engineering degree into being a CEO of a mine close to here. And then that mine had a bunch of property bought around this place, and then they sold some of it that didn't have any resources on it, and this was one of the farms that they sold that didn't have any resource on it, and it had this house on it, and this is where we've lived for the last 13 years, give or take. So I don't think, at least, you know, not that I would have any shame of that because it wasn't my choices. I'm not gonna take any responsibility for it. I didn't think my family benefited from any apartheid. Maybe the bursary my dad got, you know, maybe that was a little bit influenced by his skin color. I could see that happening. But other than that, I don't really think so, friend. And apartheid was an absolute, you know, tragedy as well. It's not something I stand for. I was fortunately never even alive during that time. Hey Jacob, thank you for joining us, friend. New to this, just came up. Are you South African? I am. Sherbert Fish. Meltmore's chat box stresses me out. Welcome. Welcome. Cobb, if you feel yourself melting, just melt more, dude. That's literally the mindset that I've kind of taken, and choosing a name like that for myself is like being reminded from the external world as well. Do you travel to Angola and Mozambique? We've been to Mozambique, been to Botswana, been to Namibia, been to Zimbabwe, friend. Too busy. Thank you for the wholesome friend. I appreciate that. How do I leave behind my American mortgage and wife and I can live carefree amongst the trees? How do you do that? Well, I think, you know, if you want to be realistic about it, keep working your normal job, try and sell your mortgage, then maybe, and this is not advice, You're asking me a question, so I'm giving an answer. I'm not giving you advice. So then you work, you continue working your job, not having your mortgage anymore, and then you save up enough money. You do that for how many years it takes. If it takes 11, if it takes 20, start building on that dream because that's what you want. Start showing up for it. And then take that money to buy yourself a small piece of property where there are trees. And then you start to use that land as a means to generate more resources or, work online, continuing what you're doing right now. You can. If you want to live amongst the trees, you can. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be in a year from now, but if that is what you want, and you make that your priority, and you show up for what your priority is, you will. I'm not like maybe, you will make it a reality. I can promise you. I can promise you. I don't promise you a lot of things, but if you show up for the things you believe in, and you continue doing that indefinitely, with this mindset of infinity, you will reach it. You might not even reach it in this lifetime, but you will reach it. That's the joke. That's the joke. That is what infinity means. That is what you are. And it's very difficult to accept that part of yourself sometimes. But do it. Just do it. Just, just, just do it. Just show up, friend. That's all you have to do. Show up for love, and you'll find it. And that is exactly. This is what he does. Mm-hmm. You're right, Shake. Well, this is what I wanted to do. So I started doing it. And because I believed in myself, because I believed that this is what my soul needs, I made it my reality. I didn't ask. I wasn't like, "Oh, do you think I can live the life I dream about?" No. I'm going to live the dream that I've dreamed about. I'm going to live the dream. Live the life that I've dreamed about. That's the only way. It's like one mindset or another. I'm either a victim to the world or I am the world, expressed as an individual. It's your choice. Do you want to be only canvas? Do you want to be only painter? Or do you want to accept your your dualistic nature? Moves too fast, and so many sidebar convos. I can't keep up with anyone, so I just kind of listen to Melt instead. Love to you, Gob. Maybe that's the point, dude. Maybe that's exactly what your consciousness needs. He shows up for others daily to share life perspective. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that love on B. Hey, Lisa, it's nice to see you. Ezio says he gives off great energy. I can see why. It's the only way, friend. I've I've been gifted the things I've been gifted, right? Like I so many times I feel like I'm unworthy, like I should feel bad, about the privileges I've had in my life, having parents that are willing to take care of me during this time of the time of the planet's existence, having food to eat, having electricity, having running water. Like I feel because I know there is lack outside in the world, I feel like these privileges I have, I should be ashamed of. But do you think that helps? Do you think it helps for you to feel ashamed of the things that you do have, the abundance that has been gifted upon you? Or do you think living into that love, living into that happiness, living into this understanding that love is true, and because love is true, you're being gifted these abundances in your life? It is it is a choice. It is a choice how you want to live. It's the only thing that I can continue doing. We've been given these things, and we can either keep it for ourselves out of shame or out of some like feeling of scarcity of like, oh, if I share it, there's not going to be enough for me, or we can live into the abundance mindset. Give it away. Give it all away because none of it is yours. Uncle Becky says this beautiful thing that will always stay with me. Nothing is yours. Even the breath you just took, you have to give back. And yet, everything is you. So, why do you want more? Why do you want more than everything? Why do you want more than infinity? Isn't infinity enough? Isn't infinity enough? I feel it. I feel it's quite enough. It's quite enough. Oh man, I just realized that the infinity symbol is also painter and canvas. Nice. Yeah, there we go. Mm. That is so incredible. The amount of creatures in the world with their own perspectives and absolutely unique lives that we will never understand. I mean, there are toads that are just chilling out and sweating out DFT. That's pure Chad move. Good old Bufus? Bofus? Bofus frogs. Yeah, straight up pimples with 5-MeO DMT in it. And then when a human being smokes that, he just melts away. Isn't that neat? The human being you think you are right now, once you smoke 5-MeO DMT, melts away. There's just nothing of it left. It's just awareness within infinite potential. That is what the peak of that experience does to you basically. Just I am here within everything. Nothing else. No, I am so and so. I have, limbs. I need to eat food. I like these things. Nothing. Just awareness in everything. And a frog produces it on its back in pimples that people can squeeze and then dry those pimple juice out. Like, and you're like, yeah, life. It makes sense. No, it's not supposed to make sense. But we can keep asking questions about it. Melina, just melt more. It's the only way. Lemon tag, lemon tag. I did do lemon tag, dude. One of our friends has a tat that says no mistakes, just more paint. Jovan, that's a trip. More synchronicity. I wonder if those toads are actually tripping their whole lives. Something. Everything is nothing and nothing is everything. There we go. I wonder as well. Maybe they're tripping out their whole lives. Maybe they're not even tripping out. Maybe they're just super in tune. Just like actual shamans of the forest. And then different things come and talk to them. And these shamans would be so awakened technically that they would be willing to give their own bodies as medicine. And if a bird has to eat them and then experience that 5-MeO DMT, it would be medicine to them. Suddenly, the Bofu frogs have a whole archetype in my head. Oh goodness, the infinity is growing. Stop it! Okay. Hypnotoad. Like I actually the new piece that I've made has hypnotoad eyes. It's a butterfly. It is now hypnotoad eyes, and it is an owl at the same time. At least it's what you want to see. And my mom sees a totem pole in it as well. Don't let psychedelics give you an ego. I'm not trying to at all, friend. Not at all. I don't think psychedelics do give you an ego. They could. They could if they create some sort of separation. If you gain some sort of like, I am this and the rest is that, that is where ego comes from. And your ego will use any means, any information to create a divide. That's what it does. That's what it does. And the whole Meltmore philosophy is just to melt away your ego, to leave what is the infinity, pure awareness. And that's why I've chosen that name, as a reminder to myself even. Ego is necessary, and I've gained this mindset as well that I'm befriending my ego, if anything. I'm befriending my ego while almost creating it, like consciously choosing what ego I want to have instead of just being the ego. Is that ego in itself? I don't know. But you cannot survive in this world without ego, friend. Someone needs to be able to say, this is, and then add a name. Without ego, there is no name attachment. There is no memory attachment. There is no personal experience attachment. We have the things we have, the senses we have for a reason. And instead of seeing them as an obstacle, we can see them as part of the puzzle, part of the infinity. I love how I can see a face on the upper part of your works that is subtle but absolutely there. Yeah, Like there's a lot of them actually. There is a lot of them. Like I've been making them like on purpose as well. I think day nines. Day nines I have like a very was it day nine? No, it was day one. Day one I have this very intentional little red or almost like lava looking face, dude. That's ego and there's ego. There's ego and then there's ego. Using psychedelics gets us a glimpse of the ego with a big E, while getting sober brings us back to the lower ego. Hmm. I hear what you're saying actually. Melina, you're completely right. It gives you that insight, that awareness of what you actually are. But if you live only into that awareness indefinitely, assuming that others are not, or if others are not in your immediate vicinity, then again it causes a divide. It causes separation. So we need to use the information that we have, the the medium that we have to help the people, share with them in a way that they can actually process, meet them where they're at, if you will. Melt in another dimension on mushrooms. His mom. Melt. Why am I feeling so unrelatable? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly that. Exactly that. That's what I mean. Thank you, Edith. Thank you for summing it up so beautifully. Red clicker. Love to you, friend. Yeah, I do that sometimes. It depends on how much mental energy I have. That happens. It's like imagining dragons with big chunky rock skins, and they're so old, and they've undergone calcification and built up this layer of boulder shells. I think it'll look sick. Kind of like the souls of dragons, dude. That sounds amazing. Shield Silver Golf. Thank you for painting that picture, Isaac. Okay. Like a part of me wants to get completely present with you, friends, but I'm gonna be here. Love is being shared. Dragons better have some cool telekinetic communication, like super wide, hardly speak. Oh yeah, like their faces would be a little bit. It would be energetically intensive for them to actually be speaking like normal human beings, especially with the speed that we speak and the size of their anatomy. So they would have to speak telepathically, and we would be able to speak telepathically as well. But I think it would be range dependent. Maybe if you train super hard, you would be able to expand your telepathic range. But most laymen's, can only speak telepathically to people that they can actually see, for example. And it's the same for the dragons. And if you touch the dragon, there would be an extra a link of telepathic communication instead of it just being transmitted. It would be actually completely conducted as well in that moment. Super wise dragons. Orange cape. Thank you, Red. Thank you for joining us. It's so nice to have you and your enthusiasm with us today. I like that. When they attack, hate causes pain. We blotch. And what's the inverse? Having someone give you pure light with no reciprocation, is that like opening up an entire new prism of colors? If we all give all our paintings, will if we all give all our paintings, it will be far more detailed, far more depthy. With all the hate of all the paintings, we are blurred by gray and black splotches. Whew. And the thing, I feel like the biggest thing that I'm trying to get into like a place of understanding and recognition is this role of the personal painter within us as well. That we're painting pictures for ourselves, and we can be making splotches. Sometimes we do constantly. Sometimes we'll find ourselves just dripping black paint. This makes me so angry. This. And I found myself doing it today. I had to bake rusks, and I love helping my mom, but I just got off of the yoga teacher training, and I was like, oh, okay, good. I can actually start working on my writing again and stuff. And then as I'm like, okay, writing, it's like, nah, bro. You sit down. No writing for you. We're gonna be making rusks. And then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. This is not what I should be doing right now. No, 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 no. Black drops of paint. Instead of being like, okay, I'm helping. All there is this moment. I should just be breathing, making beautiful lines. No. We're so powerful. We really are. About sums it up. In a relationship with Mother Earth, she surprises you with something and hits you with it, and you respect her for it. Yeah, it's the only way. Because you know it's only done out of love. It's only done out of love. Love is true even in those situations. Oh Mel, it drives me crazy for my animals and or kids to swallow chunks of food. Their tummy will have to work so much more. Exactly. Takes longer to digest as well. So not only on the efficiency of digestion is it a problem, but on top of that, the not actually tasting your food properly, the lost you don't friend. You may leave the mortgage, but you take her with you. There we go. Thank you, friend. Yeah, I agree completely. Bring her with you and see if you both melt away with some unwanted burdens over time. I appreciate you, friend, sharing that love as well. Hairy dinosaurs, right? Yeah, probably, actually. Yeah, that was kind of harsh. You are a beautiful soul. Nobody special. You are somebody special, friend. You know, somebody special within this grand infinity. Nobody special when it comes to every single one of us, right? Because every single one of us is somebody special. You. As somebody special, me just being a mirror to the you that you are. You're seeing your own beautiful soul, friend. Thank you for sharing love. We were chatting about it last night. I saw some discovery show that dinosaurs actually had hair and feathers. Yeah, like what what are you seeing? You seeing something? You seeing something silly, silly? There we go. Calm down. Yeah, dinosaurs. You know, not being scaly at all. Maybe even maybe they were feathered creatures. Maybe they could have individualized control over their feathers. You know, puffing them up like chickens, having different colors, creating textures, maybe communicating that way even. Okay, let's not even like that's the whole stream if we get into that right now. Right, do her the favor and leave her now. If you're planning to just end up leaving her for a better life down the line, leave her with the house and go live in the woods somewhere. Do her the favor. You see, you have been seen and heard, sister. Thank you for that love, my friend. Right, furry, flightless, death bird lizards, and we and of all the creatures to survive, the oldest thing is the horseshoe crab. It's been doing something right. Obviously been doing something right. Oh yeah, it's pretty accepted I think now that some of the dinosaurs had feathers and fur. Yep, yep, yep. I mean, those time periods lasted so long that they had a very large variety of different species and whatnot. But imagine a feathered T-Rex. I just imagine it as like a little fluff ball, dude. Little fluff ball that is just, I mean, big fluff ball. Enormous fluff ball coming at you, you know, size of a tree. You're like I'm actually getting goosebumps just imagining it. Like, oh, this is how I die. Again, goosebumps. Oh, I'm dying. I'm getting eaten by a fluff ball. If you think about the definition of lava, an ice cube can be considered a lava rock. Lava. Water is lava, and we are lava monsters. Melting. I'm melting. Ah, thank you for that. That's beautiful. We're the lava monsters. Cluck, cluck, motherfucker. I mean, we're producing heat right now. It's just very complex lava. Such complex lava. I'm sitting here like I should crochet Corey a mushroom lighter holder. Why is my focus so wacky? In-depth conversation and my brain thinks. I wonder if I could crochet that. Eden, maybe that's exactly the thought you needed to have. In-depth thought. And yet you got to have that moment. None of us had that moment. You know, like literally you could say out of every single person in the entire world or just in this moment watching the stream right now, you had a divinely unique, infinite experience thinking if you could crochet it or not for your beloved, you know? Again, love is true because you didn't were like, oh, I'm gonna ignore this asshole talking and think about this other thing. No, that wasn't your intention. It was, I really have this love for my divine masculine. I like, you know, the functionality of this thing that I'm seeing. I would like to give to my divine masculine out of love this functional piece of thing, whatever. Right? Love, and you got to have that. So again, that's what I mean when I say no matter what it is I'm sharing, Don't believe me. Don't take what I'm saying as absolute truth, because what you experience is your absolute truth. Thinking about crocheting a mushroom necklace, that is your truth. That is your experience. And that is what we're trying to encourage one another. What we're trying to encourage one another to keep experiencing, to admit, to accept that that is your role, that is your beautiful part to play, and to appreciate that. Appreciate yourself. I love you, Kira Verb. How's the foot, my friend? How are you doing? So much love to you. Thank you for that love, Isaac. What does it look like when others paint on our canvas without permission, like throwing paint? Do we paint over it, or paint around through it and create an intentional work of art? So I want to say almost both. Like, let's imagine someone, saying something nasty to you in like a passing situation. It could be like them just throwing a little bit of paint on yourself. And then when you keep thinking of that thing over and over again, it's like trying to rub it out. Like, oh, there's this black piece of paint on this beautiful Technicolor complexified painting. Let me rub this black paint all over it in circular motion. Loop, oh, loop, oh, loop, loop. Or you can be like, oh, that wasn't nice. Oh well, let me move on. And then that little dollop of paint, stays a little spot. And then you can use that little dollop of paint to like paint a little stem down and make like little flower petals around it, right? That's at least the imagery that came to my mind when I heard your question. That is the only way that I think we can do it, is to not entertain those thoughts, to not give them the power of our infinity, of our looping, because we're going to be looping. So we try and interject a positive loop into that equation of, I am worthy, I will be successful, I will realize my dreams, I will live the life that I want to, I will have time with my family, I am loved. Instead of being the opposite of that. Oh man, I'm so cursed. Oh, I'm so unlucky. I am so tired of life. Because it's the loop that you're creating. You're the painter and the canvas. You're the painter and the canvas, and you can paint pictures for others, and they influence one another. It's like you, as a person, just imagining you're outside as like the canvas, and you're painting these things, and then as you're painting something else, you see all of these beautiful patterns on your arm, and then that becomes your inspiration for what you want to be painting. Infinities everywhere. Just an angry, it's just a giant angry chicken. Exactly. I love you. So sick though. Feel into that. How those random beautiful things happen. It is. It's perfect that way. Or like a bird comes by and sits on my canvas. Then what? Smear it into the painting. A bird. I don't know if the bird pooped on the canvas, but like the initial way that I read your sentence, my mind was like, okay, beautiful canvas, and then bird sits on canvas, and then when you said smear it into the painting, I was just imagining you with like a palette knife or something, and just taking that bird and actually smearing the bird into like a thin layer, and it will be beautiful. I'm sorry. It will be beautiful because as the different layers of it comes off, it will like have an expression of the infinite fractal that is its internal organs. I'm sorry, stuff. I mean, you know what I mean. You can see. I hope you can see what I mean. I hope it's not absolutely disturbing, but it's beautiful to me at least. So just smearing the bird into the canvas. Maybe we can do. I mean, in fractals, yes, especially within the mind fractal, it's like, oh, okay, physics, nah, just like information, light. Technically, you can do anything with light. No such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. Apologies, friends. I'm in a silly mood today. Me too. Me too. Feel free to be silly. This is, everything within infinity on B is on B. Painting title: B's beautiful bird shit. There we go. I think you'd sell even. I think you'd sell. Hey, Kami. Thank you for joining us, friends. Nice to have you here. Holy great stuff, man. Appreciate your existence, brother. God bless and peace. Purple. So much love to you as well, friend. Peace peace to you. Om Shanti Shanti. Hope everyone is having had a good day. Thank you, friend. Kami, actively having a good day. I appreciate you. I'm glad you stopped by. He's here every day, same time. You're right. Thank you for telling our friend as well, Aunt B. If you're always tripping out, you're never tripping out. There we go. Exactly, Isaac. And it's been a while. Like the last time I had a mushroom experience was the 27th of January. And I had one again last night. It was the 24th, I think. So almost 2 months. Almost 2 months in between. And I feel that was a good amount of time, but I think I'm going to settle on the max 4 times a year now. Yeah, probably. I hope everyone is having had a good day. Thank you again, Kami. We appreciate your love, friend. We gotta do the litter box. Goodbye, friend. It's nice to have you for a moment. It's nice out today. Going to go up to 80 Fahrenheit, but it was 34 this morning. Jovan, I've seen 34 like 3 times today as well. You're not alone. I'm zoning out like he's a super melt in an orange cake. Oh, there's Pippi. The cow wants to say a few words. I don't know. My brain is disoriented sometimes. My brain was pretty disoriented today. Still is a little bit. You know, like I was going through the yoga session. Yesterday's yoga session, I felt, in tune, perfectly in tune. And today's I was like, where am I? And kind of like and acknowledged that within myself, even said it to Ryan, and then came and still showed up nonetheless. And there's so much change. There's only change. There literally is only change. It's okay. It's okay, Heather. You're both of it. Oh, hello, Meltmore. Hello to you, Penguins Can Fly 44. How are you doing, friend? It's been a while. Good vibes to you. Thank you, friend. Sending you good vibes right back. How have you been? How's life been treating you? I love you, Aunt B. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Thank you for sharing that love, the Dorian. It's nice to have you here, friend. Oh, like the world serpent. The world serpent in God of War. That scene where he speaks is incredibly sick. I don't think unfortunately, I didn't play any of the God of War games, Isaac, so I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Freaking love that movie. Do you like Bob Ross? Absolutely. I think you would love Boop the Snoot. I like your name. My cousin David calls bunnies that Boop the Snoots. That's very cute. Like, I do like Bob Ross. I actually watched that documentary as well. Like, they did Bob Ross dirty. Very dirty, unfortunately. But Bob Ross was an absolute, beautiful being as well. Created and shared love in his role. Just think about that. When it comes to playing roles, that is Bob Ross's role. That is what he needed to do. That is what he is to us. That joyful, happy little accidents, understanding of life, creating, sharing love. That was his role. And if he didn't, take that into his own life, if he didn't accept that responsibility to play his role, we would never have had the Bob Ross that we have in our heads right now. It is of utmost importance, friend, that you play your role in the most divine way that you can, to respect yourself and to trust yourself. She broke it Super Bowl night. Oh goodness, that is really unfortunate. Especially on Super Bowl night. I gotta head out, but I'm leaving with love, friends. Thank you all for spending the morning with me. Thank you for spending this time as well, Aiden. Sending you so much love, friend. We'll see you again. There is a book called One Day a Bird Will Poop on You. It's about accepting that life has negative things that happen, but not to worry too much about it. Yeah, friend. Like if you really think about it, life is 99% amazing. You know, if you were to really be aware and you could rate every single moment, if you had to, every single moment, let's say every single second of your experience, right? So one, and I could take a moment and pause that, and the things I heard in that second, the wind I felt on my face in that second, the birds I heard in that second, this tree, the fractals I can see in that tree, that tree, that tree, this experience of having, all of these pixels, your letters in front of me like spells, the grass, the little feathers, the ball, my dog plays with, the wood. This moment has an infinite amount of beauty. And if we had to rate, how beautiful do you think this moment was, taking all of those things in consideration? You would rate pretty much 99, I believe, 0.99% of your experiences as amazing. And then we have moments that are absolutely devastating. A loss, hearing something horrible, hurting yourself extremely in that moment. But 99% of the experiences are good, so not too worrying too much about it. I think of it again in this context of infinity. With an infinity, love is true. So if you try and seek that, even hurting yourself, even breaking your foot, maybe there can be love in that. You actually get to not do certain things now. You actually get to rest different parts of yourself because one part of you is disabled. It's all infinity, friend. It's a heroic situation that she saved the entire world. There we go. Or maybe she tripped up. Going up the stairs, same thing. This is true, can confirm, evidence, the world still exists. This is right, Dorian, you're right. I mean, thank you, Kira Burb, for saving all of us. Alright, it's a ringing bell now. Tripping up the stairs, I mean, saving the world. Special talent of mine as well. I get to you, Bonnie McMurray. Nice to have you here, friend. How are you doing? Penguin says, this is a good point. There are beautiful things to appreciate in that majority of moments. Thanks for that awareness. Thank you, friend. Thank you. I think I pull that information from the Stoic wisdom that I've put into my brain. The Stoics has this thing of negative visualization. So imagine what you would want for that you have, and be thankful for them. I probably butchered that paraphrasing, but it's something in that context. It basically says, imagine the things that you have right now: your ability to see, your ability to hear, your ability to smell, your ability to experience and taste food, your ability to feel textures, to like feel the warmth of a blanket or the cool of an air conditioner, or the ability to, fall in love with someone. What if you didn't have those things? What would you give to get those things back? Everything. You would give everything just to get back your sight, to get back your ability to hear, to get back your ability to taste. Literally everything for only one of those things, if you had to lose all of them. And yet you have those. Here in this moment, you have all of them. How blessed. How freaking blessed. Infinitely blessed, even. Mernon! Friends, I'm cold. I'm so cold. Happy about it, actually. I don't know. I'm gonna get myself a blanket. Thank you, friends, for joining me in this moment, for sharing some love on this Friday. If you, friends, like beautiful things, I make beautiful things, and I was thinking about it last night, especially, like as I was sharing this feeling I had looking at this insect, where I was like, oh, a literal gem. I was thinking of these daily works of art that I make as flowers that I was offering the world. Almost like it was a whole trip, but it was basically like, oh, the divine feminine part of myself is the dancer, right? The creator, the constant in movement one, the one that made the flowers. And the divine masculine in me is the one that observes, the one that sees, the one that appreciates the beauty of the flower. And every single day that I make one of these flowers, it is me doing that, me creating a flower the divine inside of you, the God inside of you. And as soon as I realized that, it was almost like I accepted that that is what I was trying to do. Instead of just thinking of it as, oh, I'm going to make another fractal, now I'm thinking of it as, I'm going to create a flower that has never been seen before in existence. to you, giving you this flower. Friends, so thank you for joining me. Ah, yes, I'm intrigued by this perspective. A good thing to meditate on. Happy Friday to you, Miltmore. Have an amazing weekend. Penguin, thank you for sharing this awareness of yourself, friend. I like a flower. I like a flower. Bonnie McMurray, we have a Patreon. Friend, like you can find it on the profile if you click on my little Meltmore face. But if you search Meltmore on Patreon, you'll find us. Thank you, Aunt B. Thank you, Jovan. Thank you, friends, for the support you've provided. Being able to do what it is we're doing, having certainty in my heart that I'm not just doing this lightly, if that makes sense. That there's a reason that we're doing this. That sharing this perspective, this acknowledgement of one another with one another, is of utmost importance. It's this acceptance of the role that we're all playing, and you friends being willing to help me with that. Giving power to the voice that is us. We've reached 60% of our goal. 60% of our goal with $500 a month. That is the cost of living in South Africa. It's like a quarter of like minimum wage in America, I believe. But like with $500, I can basically, live in South Africa. I can eat food. And the fact that we've reached 60% of that goal and it's March, I'm absolutely melting. Like seriously, the love that you friends have shared, not only on the Patreon, but in this space, in this very moment, the love that you're sharing right now, just experiencing words, just experiencing this, connection, this communication with one another. I cannot be thankful enough. That's why I do the dancing streams as well these days. Like every Wednesday, basically, I do a whole dancing stream thanking you, friends. Is that a strawberry hat around your neck? More a mushroom? Let me get a little bit closer for you. It's a coral. It's a quartz coral. Coral quartz. Basically, a piece of coral that somehow got crystallized with quartz. So it has these beautiful textures on it. Nooks and crannies. And I've had it since like 2018, but the top piece broke in 2000 and at the end of 2019, and I recently remade myself this top little piece and I stuck it back in there. Zenoa, friend, it's been a while. I hope you're doing well. I hope the house is basically fixed. Zenoa in stream had someone hit this house with a car. So, dude, I've been thinking about you a lot, man. Sending so much love. Shannon, very thankful for this positive space and all you friends here. Much love to you all. I hope everyone has a great day. Shannon, thank you. Friend, thank you so much for the love that you share. Like, I appreciate you eternally. Thank you for allowing yourself these moments as well. Enjoy the days in Noah. Thank you again, friends. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the presence. I appreciate you providing the canvas that is you to experience the information that is us. I appreciate you painting onto my canvas the understanding that love is true over and over again. Love is true. Love is true. Love is true. Love is true. I appreciate you. Goodbye, everyone. Bye, my friends.